Black Women Rock is something I created in 2004, the National Black Arts Festival. I wanted to fill a void. There was, to me, a lack even at the festival or just around the country with people producing concerts that showed black women playing rock and roll. And because I'd been in New York City on the rock and roll scene, I knew that they existed. So I said to the National Black Arts Festival, I said, listen, I want to do this thing called Black Women Rock, and I want to do a tribute to Betty Davis. And Betty Davis was married to Miles Davis. If you don't know, you can check on the line and see who Betty Davis is. She was on the cover of a lot of Miles Davis albums, and she was a rocker and a funk person, and she growled and she did all these noises, and she was very affirming as a woman in a time that wasn't easy for women to be affirming. And so her music was incredible, and a lot of hip hop artists have sampled her work. And she's alive. She lives in Pittsburgh. And I wanted to celebrate a woman that was alive, that inspired me and a lot of other women. So I did the show, and we had live painters on stage, and everyone brought their bands, and we did a discussion about inclusion, about in the rock and roll industry, because it's difficult for a black girl and a black woman to get a record deal that plays rock and roll. And even though it's just the blues sped up, it's truly our music. And we don't see ourselves in it, and sometimes the industry definitely doesn't see us in it, or they'll see one of us when there's about 100, a million, zillion of us. And so I wanted to create a space where they could perform, sell their CDs. So the Black Women Rock Weekend has become annual at the Charles H. Wright Museum in Detroit. It's an annual event that they took, the museum took the chance of bringing a rock concert into the museum for the very first time, and people showed up. It was like Fire Code, the first one, and it sells out every year. And it's a weekend, it's a celebration of us, of Betty Davis, of women like Grace Jones and Nona Hendrix, and incredible women, Patti LaBelle, these women that have been doing it for a long time, and they have daughters, and we're an extension of what they've done, and we want to pass it on to young girls. I'm trying to develop it. So on Saturday we have the show, and Sunday we have a talk, and when these women tell their stories, they cry, their moms, they talk about what it's like to be an independent artist, and we want to show young girls that you can make a living, and you don't have to go against your heart. You can have integrity and keep your clothes on and make music. You can own it. You can be the institution builder. You can be the owner of the record label. You don't have to get a record deal. Give yourself a deal. So that's what we're trying to show them. This is how and all the women I bring have been all over the world. They've been all over Asia and in South America and all over Europe so many times, and they're still being introduced to audiences for the first time because how the industry is set up. And so that's what Black Women Rock is. It's really a revival, for us as artists. And we're actually turning it, we're going to expand it, and we're hoping to create a retreat out of it where we can bring young girls out to meet Kat Dyson, who plays with Prince, and Cyndi Lauper. That's our guitar player, and she comes to Detroit. And I can't afford her, and she still comes. She says, I'm coming to make this music with you women in Detroit. So it's a 12-piece all-women rock orchestra, women of color, and it's really beautiful.